episodic podcasting adventure. It's Talkamania.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talkamania. I'm your co-host Dez, here with the boozerweight himself, J-Bum.
Hey, I like that intro. You know what? If I'm ever a wrestler, I'm going to use boozerweight because it's true.
I just felt like that one hit the mark with you. It accurately describes you, my friend.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. These NHL playoffs are like, oof. Not only is the stress taking like time off my life, but the amount of booze that I've intaken is just too much.
Oh, I can imagine, man. But yeah, that's it. We are recording tonight. It is a Stanley Cup Final, Game 7. Boston Bruins. J-Bomb is just, you can see him. He just got the diaper on, man. Are you wearing it?
I got literally, you could see me. I can't see you. So
he's got
I got Tums in my hand for this recording. We're about 2 hours away from puck drop in Boston. And I'm shitting my pants here.
I kind of envy you, but don't envy you, because I remember those feelings when your team goes deep and you think something's gonna. This is it. This is as close as it gets, right down to the wire, right? So we'll see, though. J-Bump's gonna be really excited. They do. Well, we're talking about it. I'm sure he'll be tweeting out some shit too. But yeah, we're recording a little bit early tonight, so we can go watch the game. Maybe I'll just go long-winded and keep you here and make you miss everything.
You fucker! I can't see you. That's what's so weird. Discord is acting up. Dez could see me. I can't see him. It's gonna be special. Tonight's gonna be special. And there's nothing going on in WWE. That hurts us.
No, that's it. Yeah, we were talking about how we're gonna get through this week's podcast. So we're gonna try. There are some things to talk about. We'll go over it, but just there's not much going on, and I just feel like wrestling is just honestly, like you said last week. You said WWE is shit, and you're like, finally, like Mike's kind of come to the realization of this. And you're right. It's like, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy watching it this week. It's garbage.
It's been tough.
It's hard.
I know you watched Moxley versus Juice finally, so that must have been fun.
So yeah, what I did was this weekend before it wrapped up, I watched the match of Moxley and Juice Robinson. You're right. He wrestled a different style. He drops a lot of the movesets and stuff that he was doing before. Well, he's definitely a lot more aggressive. He legit bit him open.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like worked on that eye with his teeth, and there's like a picture I saw online of him like yanking the eye skin. But yeah, that's intense. They can just bite people open. Is that it? It's like a new blading.
I mean, I'll take it. Did you see the point where Juice front flipped off like the entrance and totally missed him?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I could have broken his tailbone or some shit.
He looked a little bit messed up after, not gonna lie. He looked like, I don't know if he was just selling it really well. I don't know if you have to sell a move like that, but he looked pretty banged up.
Well, I didn't know where he was going. I was like, why is he going up so high? And like, wouldn't Ambrose just follow him? But yeah, the match itself was pretty good. I mean, I like the aggression. He did the dirty deeds. I don't know if that's what he's calling it anymore. But then he did his death. Well, I don't know if it's called a Death Rider or if it's coincidentally the announcers were saying Death Rider at the time he was doing the move, and the fans kind of rolled with it. Because his next match that I saw him take on versus Shota Mino, he hit the regular double arm DDT and got the win. So maybe he's busted out for a special occasion. Maybe he's still sticking with the double arm DDT. But it's cool. It definitely was great to watch these matches. And I watched also Jericho versus Okada. I heard that it kind of didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
We've seen Okada in these matches that just, they go on. They're really drawn out with Kenny Omega. They're kind of like these, I guess, massive stories told in the ring. And I don't know. I thought it doesn't get its fair shake. I thought the match itself was pretty good. I think it was a better match for Jericho that I've seen in a while. And I think he trimmed down just a little bit, Jericho. Not like immensely, but he was in a little bit better shape. And I don't know. The fact that he's as old as he is and he's wrestling still in these caliber kind of matches, like, I don't know. Wasn't an awful match. I'll say that at the least. It wasn't bad.
I mean, he's not far off from guys like Goldberg and Undertaker, who had, probably the greatest match in Saudi Arabia history.
Yeah, the greatest match. And the thing about that was they put it in as the main event, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is your main event, Bill Goldberg, The Undertaker. And it's funny because you were talking a while back and saying that it's okay, there's a place for these kind of matches. Let them have their own matches, these relics. And, that way, it's just adding another card to the match to the card. And, I kind of was... Lots of people were criticizing this match. I was interested about it. I've been saying for weeks now. I'm looking forward to seeing this match and how it was going to play out, who's going to win, who's going to do the job. And the match itself, I didn't have high expectations. So when it first started off, it wasn't too bad. There were some okay moments. But then as soon as Goldberg smacked his head on the corner, did you go back and watch the match yourself?
I went back. That was the only match from the entire pay-per-view I went back and watched just because you told me that it's worth seeing the dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's kind of the best way to describe it, I guess you could say. And you see Goldberg busting his head open. He's not the first time he's done that either. He's obviously loopy at that point, right? He's trying to get his bearings, trying to get his grounding, and doesn't really get it together. He almost kills Undertaker with jackhammer. Yep. That was pretty nasty. And then they do the reverse tombstone spot, and Goldberg collapses, and Undertaker just pretty much is like, lie down, boy, and just like choke slams him.
The shittiest choke
really
slam.
Weak choke slam. Yeah, next to that Hogan choke slam, it's probably one of the worst. And then Goldberg, the mythical Goldberg that the Undertaker wanted, gets beaten out by a choke slam. So you saw the look on Undertaker's face afterwards.
Yes, yeah, I think that summed it up.
Clearly not happy, but I mean, that's the question. How hard? Well, look, you knock him for being clumsy. Obviously, Goldberg going into the corner too fast and too far. Obviously, hasn't wrestled in the rings in a while. Maybe they've changed in terms of like the depth of the ring posts and stuff. But regardless, he's been clumsy. He's hurt himself quite a few times. But a man with a concussion, can you really hold that against Goldberg?
I don't think you could hold it against Goldberg. I think considering everything that happened and considering, how not really ring ready either of them are, the match wasn't I know I called it a dumpster fire, but for them it wasn't that bad. And like you said, the guy's concussed. He could have stopped. So I guess we can give him some props for keeping going there. I just think it's a mistake of WWE to have, one, booked the match, and two, made it the main event.
I don't mind them booking the match, because that is a kind of a fantasy booking, and obviously you can't go back in time and have it. So I like to see them have the attempt of at least having it in a modern era. Like, at least you're getting it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't have high hopes, and you can't have high expectations. But for these kind of events like Saudi Arabia, they're kind of buying their matchups. This event, I kind of consider it just a wash. Not really much happens, not much story progression. It's just putting on a show in Saudi Arabia. And I guess my tripe was having it as a main event was pretty bad. If you have these guys that can only go like 3-4 minutes in the ring, I don't know. I mean, and the heat. I heard it was so hot down there, like over 100 degrees by ringside. And if you're wrestling around, like you have a concussion, you're sweaty, you're old, like it's just a recipe for disaster. So I'm not surprised it went as bad as it was. It's another event with Undertaker that ended up being a dumpster fire in Saudi Arabia. People are saying that they shouldn't wrestle anymore. Goldberg went out and said, look, it wasn't the match I wanted. I concussed myself. All you guys that are laughing at me, have fun with it. Jericho's defending them. There's other people stepping in and defending them as well, too. Undertaker liked somebody's message online that was saying, like, let these guys rest in peace. Don't keep having them wrestle. It's a time to end this. And, who knows where it goes from there. I think this match could have been a lot better. I think if Goldberg wouldn't have hit his head and busted his head open and got the concussion, it would have been a lot better. He would have probably had the proper power to lift him up when he needed to.
Let's hope.
So I won't necessarily completely knock this on their age. I think it also had to do with the fact that the guy knocked himself out. So, shitty. Man, it was shitty. It was pretty bad.
All right. Before we talk...
I'm trying. I'm sorry, Goldberg.
Before we move on, Des, tell our listeners where they can find us.
Right. So make sure to follow us on Twitter @_Talkamania, and on Instagram. Check us out, Talkamania. And if wherever you get your podcasting kicks, wherever you want to listen to us, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, we are all there.
And of course, every Thursday morning at 11 o'clock, our episode airs on Full Press Radio, so check that out. And we have another live kickoff show, this one for WWE Stomping Grounds, Sunday, June 23rd, 5 p.m. That's also on Full Press Radio. check them out on Twitter at FP Coverage and our buddies at FPC_wrestling. Our website, as usual, www.talkamania.com. Go buy some merch. Support us. Get us to go to some more events. ProWrestlingTees.com/Talkamania. And I've been off the Twitch wagon. I'm going to blame it on the playoffs. Twitch.tv/Talkamaniacs. And I just want to take a quick second here. Shout out to our friends, Chris and Leanne Rucker. They're going through some pretty shitty times right now. They have some issues with one of their kids. So a quick shout out to them if they're listening and sending all the positive vibes from Canada down to them. All right, let's get to the wrestling portion of the show. We're going to do things a little bit differently in this episode just because of the lack of stuff that is truly going on in the WWE. We're going to be doing a quick recap of the news that's going around the wrestling world, and then I'm actually going to pick Dez's brain on where he thinks things are headed in the WWE. So let's get going right now. John Cena is officially part of the Fast and Furious cast, and apparently he gets boners when he wrestles.
What's the connection?
I just wanted to throw in the boner thing. I don't know if you saw the articles today, but he admitted to getting boners while wrestling in the ring.
I heard like a rumor about that like a year or so ago, and like, what did he say?
He just said it's inevitable. It's just a thing that the body does. And you know what? He's not the first combat sports guy that's mentioned that. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of weird juices flowing. So whatever, he gets boners in the ring.
Weird juices flowing? What is this weird juice? You almost slipped that one by me. I was like, weird juices
Male
flowing.
testosterone flowing through the body and the brainwaves, causing John Cena to have boners. But
remember Jack Swagger, right? He ended up winning that MMA fight or whatever it was, and he's like, I got a boner, man.
Rocker.
Like, that's... Yeah, that's a little bit too descriptive. But interesting. I guess that's maybe why he wore the jeans. It's a little bit tougher to see, a little bit harder to, I guess, penetrate. But yeah, cool, huh? Whatever. He's in Fast and the Furious. He's starting his movie career. He's doing what The Rock did. He's trying to replicate that, right? He's trying to, okay, well, now I'm going into Hollywood, and he's getting these parts. He grew his hair out. So, it was funny. I thought The Rock is the one who got him into the movie, but apparently it was Vin Diesel.
Well, maybe The Rock is out of the movie, and then Vin Diesel brought John in.
Yeah, they're downgrading.
But who knows? To tell you the truth, I don't think I've seen a Fast and the Furious movie since the first one. So, whatever. Those kind of movies don't really do it.
You know what? Same here. I've seen the first two, I think.
Maybe I saw the second one. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
But it's like, is it just like kind of copy paste with a certain kind of change in storyline? Just they race.
I would assume they're just racing other gangs.
And then they hit the NOS, whatever, and then they take off and car flips and I don't know.
Pretty much,
people kiss and make out and have sex. It just, I don't know.
If you guys like Fast and Furious, sorry that we just shit all over it, but whatever.
Wasn't there one of them where like all the cars turned against, like they had like a programming inside of them where they turned like against the city and they would drive themselves?
I fucking hope not. I really fucking hope not.
I think there was something like that. If it wasn't, it was another movie. It's such a stupid story.
Was it
but
Transformers?
I have a feeling it was like one of the later Fast and the Furious. Guys, let us know if we're right or if we're wrong. Usually you let us know, so please do. I just remember that story and being like, are you kidding me? You see them driving out of all like the big, those lots that they have and shit.
The big takeaway here is John Cena gets boners in the ring.
Yeah, and he's going to get boners in a car now. So.
This week's new episode of Being the Elite was released. There was a nice little feature at the beginning of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but they were featured at the beginning, and they were featured a few times in it. And very excited to see these guys, get going with their AEW career.
Yeah, no, I have not watched it. I know you told me to do some homework on watching that this week. I have not had any time with work and building a shed in my backyard. That's been taking a lot of my time. I cut my finger really bad, too, this past weekend.
Aww.
Yeah.
Should have posted pictures of that on Instagram.
I was buying some stone tablets, and I had to put them in my car, and I need to take a bag. I have a bag or two of, like, empty cans I was going to recycle. So I put them into my trunk, but when I grabbed the bag, I put my finger into the hole of the can. And then when I picked it up, it just kind of turned around the edge of the can and just like instantly cut right into my finger. And it was nasty because I pulled it open. I could like see pretty deep into my finger.
You bladed yourself.
Pretty much, yeah. And anyways, so the guy who was helping move the tablets, I had to have him do it, the rest of them, because like blood was just pissing down my hand. It got all over my car and everything, all over the side of the car door. Like it looked like a murder scene. But yeah, man, been bleeding, been building, and been working, and it was my birthday, and I'm behind on shit. So catch me up, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy. What is it all about?
It was just kind of a little introduction, playing on them. They were in the supermarket shopping for groceries, and he had Jungle Boy on his shoulders. So that's.
What do they get for groceries together? What does a Luchasaurus eat? What does a Jungle Boy eat?
They went down the cereal aisle, and they went to the meat aisle. Jungle Boy told him no, and they ended up getting bananas, and that's pretty much the whole clip. It was just a funny little dude dad, at the beginning of Being the Elite this week.
He didn't get any meat, Luchasaurus? He went with bananas?
No, Jungle Boy made him go with bananas because he's a Jungle Boy.
I know, but you think that Luchasaurus should be allowed to eat meat.
Well, some dinosaurs don't eat meat. Maybe he's a herbivore.
Clearly a Luchasaurus. He would be a carnivore, I would think. But I'm surprised. He should have walked with like a big T-bone steak, like Fred Flintstone style or some shit.
It was also announced on the same episode that there's going to be a 4-way match at Fyter Fest, and Fyter Fest is starting to wrap up into a pretty good pay-per-view. But Hangman Page, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, and MJF are going to be in a 4-way at Fyter Fest. So we're going to see Jungle Boy in the ring. I'm pretty excited about that. I know you've been a fan of him on the Indies.
Yeah, I've been watching him a little bit too. So you guys, if you're not familiar with him, check out the match. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. Like you said, the event's starting to shape out into a pretty cool card. And it's going to be streaming live.
Yeah, live.
For free,
which is awesome.
For free.
Very cool.
Yeah. So no more excuses for you guys not to check out AEW. It's going to be free. They'll be talking more about that as the date approaches. But yeah, they're announcing lots of matches, and the card is looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is really starting to round up. And they also announced on the Road to Fyter Fest, which was on Nightmare Families. That was released today. I'm sure you didn't get it.
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah,
it's that? Cody Rhodes' channel. Nightmare Family, YouTube. Anyways.
So this is on top of Being the Elite?
Yeah, Being the Elite is Being the Elite. And then you have
it's like a weekly episode they release or something.
Yeah, it's just like it was a Young Bucks channel, and they're on like episode 156. But now it's kind of more geared towards almost exclusively AEW. It's just kind of them promoting all their shit that they're doing, and they do match announcements. And then over on the Nightmare Family channel, they did a whole like Road to Double or Nothing, and then we thought that it was just going to end after it. But it segued into the Road to Fyter Fest, which is super exciting because I actually prefer Nightmare Family over Being the Elite. I think it's just better, it's more well put together, I guess you could say. But they announced something, you're going to be interested in this one. There's going to be a triple threat match at Fyter Fest. Nia Rose is back in it, but Yuka Sakazaki and Riho are going to be in it. Those were 2 of the 6 women that were in the Japanese match at Double or Nothing. So
I didn't know that was going to be. I saw the graphic and I thought they were on the same team or something. No. That's actually, I agree with you. That's going to be pretty cool because then you have Nyla Rose now kind of working with these women and seeing how their styles kind of going to clash. Because at Double or Nothing, the Japanese town had their own match. They kind of did their own thing. So now how well are they going to blend? It's going to be really cool to see. Guys, keep an eye on this match. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it's going to showcase Nyla Rose a little bit better than the match that she had. At Double or Nothing.
She didn't look good, and I know it's a very sensitive, I guess, wrestler to comment on. I guess to some degree.
Oh well, we're gonna have to. I mean, we gotta treat them all equally, right? So,
I think she could have been in a lot better shape, and I'm not saying she should have been thin. I'm not saying she did not look all around did not look like she was ready to go.
I'll agree with you. She looked gassed most of that match, and she spent most of it on the outside. But I just don't think that. I don't know. With the who was added to that match? Was it Aja Kong or Awesome Kong? It was Awesome Kong. I get those two mixed up. So to have Awesome Kong come in and Nyla Rose to lose, like being the beast in that match, I think really
that was a weird. That was strange that they did that. So, but I guess she felt the brunt of that, and maybe this is a way to kind of build her back up. You know what? To be honest with you, she's gonna win this match already now. Makes sense to me.
I'm just excited to see Yuka Sakazaki and Riho back in a match, man. I really, really, honestly, it was one of my favorite matches from Double or Nothing. So to see them right back on the next card, very happy.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
On the same episode, you're gonna have to watch this because it introduces a lot of.
Were they on this episode? Were they in the episode or just announced?
No, it's just Brandy. It was just like an interview with her, and she just announced the match, and they kind of showcased a few of the things that she really liked from each one of the women at Double or Nothing. But then there was a Joey Janela promo on Moxley, and I'm not going to give it away for you, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But it was really, really good.
Right.
You got to check it out. And then they also end the episode pretty much introducing who Darby Allin is. He's going to be facing Cody Rhodes at Fyter Fest. And
is he somebody who changed their name or something recently? I feel like no, they well known on the indie scene beforehand. It's a name that I honestly don't really recognize that much. And sorry guys,
I have no idea who he is. I tweeted it out today.
Okay.
I had no idea who he was. I knew he was announced for Fyter Fest, so I kept an eye on him, but I still didn't see anything from him. I know who Joey Janela is, but I've never watched any of his matches. But from the sounds of it, it's gonna be fucking crazy, both these matches. So should be so Mox versus Joey Janela, which is going to be just insane. He's like, they're kind of like deathmatch guys.
I'm telling you, that match is going to be crazy. The spots they're going to have, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm really excited. But you got to check it out because just the production of the YouTube show is really good.
Oh, Darby Allin looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just nice that WWE has all this money and all these amazing wrestlers, and in a 10-minute YouTube video, I've learned 2 characters that I've never known before, and I didn't have to have Michael Cole tell me who they were. They just talked for like a couple minutes each, and you got an idea of who they are and what they're all about and who their characters are. So good on them, man. AEW's just fucking killing it, man.
I get this. This Darby dude only started wrestling in 2015.
Yeah, he's a skateboarder.
Yeah, he used to be homeless.
Yeah.
Look at that. Cool, man. Yeah. Guys, if you want to chase your dream, you too can be a wrestler. And it doesn't take that long. 15, eh?
One more thing to wrap up AEW.
Sure.
Apparently, AEW and Pac are still in talks to get him over to the promotion. It hasn't really progressed, but the talks are still continuing, and Cody Rhodes is still helpless. I was going to say hopeful. Sorry.
And helpless.
Maybe.
And maybe hopeless.
Yeah.
But yes, I really hope we do see Pac, make an impact in AEW at some point in time in the future. You can clearly see that Cody Rhodes definitely wants to prioritize this. They don't want to have him slip through his fingers. But then this whole creative control thing, what is it? Does he want to go in and win everything? He didn't want to lose to Kenny Omega? Is it really that? And if Cody's like, no, he's always been a pro, he's very professional, like, why aren't they working it out? I'm just wondering what it's all about and if one day we're ever going to find out, and maybe we will, but that's cool to hear that they're at least still in talks, and I'm wondering what he's going to be up to next, even if it's outside of AEW. I always want to keep my eye out for Pac matches, so him being in AEW is just a bonus, and I hope it happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's purely a bonus. I think from what I've read, it seems like he would be fine losing. It's just the timing of him facing Paige, because I would assume that Paige was supposed to win that match. Pac was undefeated for like a super long time in the promotions that he was in, so it would have killed all of his story outside of AEW, and I think he just made the decision that it wasn't worth it to do it, and I think the media just spun it up. That's my guess. Because he can't be that big of a bastard, right?
Well, he claims to be, so he's got to live up to that reputation.
That's it. Some news coming out of the WWE. The Revival.
We really have to go to WWE?
Yeah, let's go to WWE.
We have to go back to that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's funny. I was actually really excited talking about it. Sorry to cut you off, but I was so excited talking about AEW. I was like, wow, wrestling, exciting. And then we're going back to WWE, and I'm actually legit like, yeah, okay.
I'm going to pick your brain shortly.
What's going on in the Wii?
The Revival are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. After not seeing that belt or anybody in that division really for weeks, that's what we got to see this week on Raw. So
another part of a hot mess, the tag team division. They just don't know what's going on here. They try to restart it, and then they give the titles to Ryder and Hawkins, which was, was a story. They won at WrestleMania. They were on the night after WrestleMania, and I actually thought it was one of the better matches. I think they took on the Revival. And then after that, they just kind of fell off the radar, and we didn't really have any Raw Tag Team Champions. Well, and this week when they had the three-way, or they had the tag team title match in general, I kind of felt like they were dropping the titles because they weren't used. I felt like it was going to be handed over to the Revival or the Usos. So there you go. The Revival win. They're, two-time champs. And, I mean...
It's good shit.
I don't know. I mean... The Revival aren't the worst tag team. They're a kind of like a meat and potatoes tag team, but they actually can be a little bit more.
You know what?
I don't know, man.
You know what?
They're like one of two tag teams that are highlighted every other week.
The thing is...
I got no more words.
That's what it is, and we might have to jump around here because there's a point that I want to bring up in another segment, but I'm going to kind of bring it up now. It's just that there's just, you can't even say that this guy deserves it over. There's just nothing. There's nothing going on with the WWE as far as it goes for, like, there's no substance. Like, you wrote in your notes, poor Hawkins and poor Ryder, and it's like, yeah, it's just poor everybody, man. Like, it's just...
Yeah, poor us as the
poor
viewers.
Us. Like, it's really bad. The revival of the new tag team champions, it doesn't mean anything. There's been no storyline for these guys. It's not a feud. The belt means nothing. None of these victories mean anything. It's just another segment that they're going to rush through and move on and on to the next commercial. That's just truly what I feel like.
I just feel like they choose and pick their time, their segments, who they want to put into it, and they want to highlight the Usos and the Revival because these are the two top tag teams. They re-signed the Usos, and they deserve to be there every week. And then the Revival too, right? Like it looks like now they're getting a lot better treatment, and now they're being highlighted every week as well too. But that said, they don't really have time for any other tag teams or anybody. You see it happen time and time again to many tag teams. Gable and Rude, Curse Hawkins and Ryder, Heavy Machinery a little bit now again. But remember the Vikings? Like, what happened to the Viking dudes?
No idea.
Like, they're nowhere now. Exactly. So, Sanity, nowhere to be seen, and they disassembled. The Wyatt family, even. It's like when they pick their teams to focus on, all our teams just get pushed aside. We see this in the women's division as well, too. Look, we have the Kabuki Warriors not there again this week, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't even expecting it this week. I'm assuming they're just going to repackage them or something, or just pretend like it never happened. Or maybe, like, they have plans for the tag team titles, and then in a month from now, the Kabuki Warriors will come back to challenge them. I don't know. But it seems like they have like 15 to 20 people that they want to focus on every week. So you have Roman, Seth, you have Baron Corbin, you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. These guys are on every single other... This is crazy. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which are on Raw and SmackDown every week, they're often in the main event or used heavily, and they don't really have a direction. What are they doing? Where's their storyline? What's their purpose?
I don't even know who's
they're not
on Raw,
challenging
who's
for any
on SmackDown.
titles. Yeah, that's it. And then every time somebody shows up in the other show, they just say the wild card rule. But it just seems like they have like 10 to 12 to 15 or whatever people they have in mind. They highlight them on both shows. Like Carmella, how much does she really need to be highlighted? Not that she's shit. I'm just saying she works good in the 24/7 angles. But having her in the match against Mandy Rose on SmackDown, I'm sorry, against Sonya Deville, but it's like we could have Ember Moon in there wrestling or other women that are on the roster that haven't had a chance to show. I just feel like she has her segments backstage. Why do you have to have her feuding with Sonya and having Mandy there as well too? And like, it's just crazy because we have Raw and we have SmackDown. We have the WWE. These should be the best of the best. That's what they should be striving for. So you should have the best women in competition on screen every single week. And I'm not trying to knock them, but the fact that you're prioritizing Mandy Rose as this person, as the top wrestler of everybody, not top of everybody, sorry, I'm going off here, guys, but you should be putting your favorite toys, the best performers every week, and I just feel like they're not doing that. They're just going with the recipes of, hey, blonde, attractive woman. I'm going into dangerous territory here.
It's fine. Let's hear it. Let's go.
But we talk about this week after week, where it just seems like he has these preferences for blondes with big boobs.
Yeah, well, I think it's true, and it's not. You're not saying that you have preferences of blondes with big boobs. You're not saying it. It's a fucking fact that WWE cares more about selling somebody versus selling a good wrestler. And I think we all know that now, right?
It just blows my mind. Like, AEW and New Japan, I've been watching wrestling matches from these promotions, and the matches that they put on, they're fucking amazing competitors.
Yep.
And I'm not saying the people in the WWE aren't. The wrestlers are very, I guess, they are the best. It's honestly, the roster in the WWE is the best that it's ever been right now. The utilization of the talent, the focal point on who they're focusing on as talent, the lack of wrestling content in the ring, of actual substance, it just blows my mind. And if you're having the women that are on it every week and there's limited time to put them on, you should be putting the best of the best. Your product, you should be striving to have the best show every single week and putting out the best matches and the best talent. And the fact that it's Mandy Rose, Lacey Evans, there's so much good talent out there.
I'm going to ask you the question. I'm jumping way ahead here in my notes, but you've always been a WWE guy. Always. We pretty much both have. At no point during the Monday Night Wars did I ever consider myself a WCW guy or an NWO guy. I mean, I watched it, but I never considered, like, in the back of my mind, it was like a sports team that you supported. We were staunch WWE guys. Is that slowly changing for you right now?
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, look at hockey, right? I was diehard Montreal Canadiens fan, and I am. I love my city, I love my hockey team. But they just break your heart so many times.
That's it.
And you get that, though. You gotta take that time off. And, like, I haven't really been as invested in hockey the past year or so. Montreal came close. I felt like we made some stupid decisions in the direction we were going into. It was hard to watch. And I guess now the WWE's kind of, I don't know, I've tried to look on the brighter side, and I've seen glimmers of hope, but it just feels like there is no real change. There hasn't been. They've teased us with it, and themselves even coming out noticing it and just still not making that change. And then going around, when we went to WrestleMania, we went and watched NXT. I mean, we've been watching it beforehand as well too, but now we're spending a lot more time and focal energy on that, and AEW, and New Japan, and Ring of Honor, and MLW, and, like, just having these other, I guess avenues and other alternatives has also been great, because you get to see what is out there and what different promotions can put together, and then you can kind of compare it a little bit to what the WWE is doing and what they should be doing. I'm not, when I say should be doing, I'm using that term lightly, but it's really getting hard to be a WWE only guy.
Yeah,
I guess let's start with that.
So you're lingering.
I'm lingering.
I'm lingering. You're married.
I've downloaded the dating app. I set up my profile. I'm taking a look around. You
haven't swiped right yet, though.
Not yet.
All right. You know what? I'm going to pick your brain a little bit more. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and on the other end, we're going to get a little bit more in depth about this. What's up, guys? We just want to take a quick second to tell you guys about this new app that we've been using. It's called Podcoin. It is a podcast player. It's great. If you're not familiar with it yet, I highly suggest you checking it out. It's a free app. It's available on iPhone, on Android, and you could actually use it. You could turn your listens into money that you could put towards, Starbucks gift cards, Amazon gift cards, or if you want to donate the cash to charity, you can do that as well. Subscribe to us on there. I mean, we're available there. All of our other podcast friends are available there as well. And actually, if you're new to the app and use the code Talkamania, you'll get an extra 300 pod coins just for signing up if you use our code. So highly suggest checking it out today. Again, that's Podcoin, available on iPhone and on Android. Now let's go back to the show. All right, guys, welcome back. So let's pick up where we left off. Des, I'm going to pick your brain a little bit more. I'm going to try and push some buttons here. I'm going to take a couple of things that are going on in the WWE right now, and I just want to get your opinion on it. First and foremost, what are your thoughts on everything that's going on with Shane McMahon right now?
I took like a real reflection on the content. I'm trying to sit back and be like, what are they doing? What are they doing wrong? And what the fuck is going on? Shane is all over the place. Like, he's always on Raw, always on SmackDown. He's such a big focal point. You have Roman Reigns, right? He is the man, or he's been the man for the WWE. And Shane's the one feuding with him now, I guess, more or less. But why are they putting him in our face so much? Why is the focal point so much on Shane McMahon? He's not even a wrestler.
No.
And he is like a huge portion of the focal point every single week. But here, one thing that came out of it really cool this week that I thought was Miz. You see the promo where he went off on Shane?
It was good. But it was still on Shane McMahon.
Better promos.
It was still on Shane McMahon.
But, I mean, I don't know. They don't like sit back and be like, here's our ratings week after week. It's getting worse. What's going on? What are we showing on TV? And they just show us more of it. It's almost like they're just throwing it in our faces or trolling us or deciding, we'll do what we want to do. But I remember, like, for years and years and years, Shane wasn't even there. And we wanted him to come back. And he finally came back, and we were ecstatic. And, he wrestled occasionally. But now, being a main focal point, it's killed all that for me. And I just feel like, these wrestlers that are like, damn, like, I want my time, I want a spot. And there's, there's only so many spots to fill. That spot, that big of a spot, should not be taken by Shane McMahon.
and even the spots, like you're mentioning when you're talking about the women before, even if they get a spot, even if Ember Moon was in that match against Sonya Deville instead of Carmella, it's not like it's a real spot. It's not like it's a real creative angle that they're making about Ember Moon. It's not even like they're highlighting her. We're gonna call it highlighting by just being on TV. But they're not doing anything that's, getting you invested in them. Like, unless you like Ember Moon, you're not going to start liking Ember Moon. They're not developing any storylines or any characters. Yeah. So, like, I don't know how they can recover from where they are right now without not an overhaul, but I don't know, man.
I think it is an overhaul. I think it's an overhaul and reset button. They got to hit reset. And do it right this time. The thing is, this match should have been made a tag team match with Ember. Why not? Why not have both women wrestle in a tag match? That way you see all people wrestle. You get Mandy showcase. You get Sonya. Like, why Carmella? Why not make? I don't know. Just I don't get it, man.
What's its worth, though? That's what I'm getting at. Like, let's say they were to do that.
Well, people want to see Ember wrestle.
Yeah, people want to see Ember wrestle. I get that. So you give them what they want, right? You give them Ember Moon on SmackDown in June. The next week, it's not like she's in a storyline. It's not like you're going to get a payoff involving Ember Moon. She's just there. Would you be happy at this point? I mean, at this point, yeah, we would probably be just happy seeing some people that we haven't seen for a while. But it's just going to get stale again. Like, if you're not, getting your audience involved in something that could be built. There's no builds. None. And, like, is there anything that you're excited about going into Stomping Ground?
Well, on the note, though, of, no story, no direction, we see Ricochet wrestle week after week with no direction, and we enjoy it week after week.
It's going to get stale, and then you're not going to like Ricochet anymore. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. I mean, dude, the matches he's been having with Cesaro have been phenomenal. I don't know if you saw he almost, broke Cesaro's leg this week. Did you see that?
Yeah, is he all right?
He did his move, and, apparently he's okay, but that was quite an injury scare. Yeah. And then Alexa Bliss, you see she got the sunset flip, her head hit the turnbuckle. I don't get the stuff they do. Someone's concussed. You put her in a TLC match, and then you put them having their head being hit against the turnbuckle. Like that looked pretty bad.
Look, one good thing they did with Alexa Bliss was put her in that pink leather shirt. Sorry. I had to mention it. It was all over Twitter. So
I'm lost. What is this?
You didn't see her? It was what match was it? It wasn't her match. She was out there.
It was Nikki Cross.
Yeah,
Nikki Cross.
Yeah, she was wearing black leather pants and this one piece pink thing. Anyways, it was.
You hear that, guys? For once, I'm not checking out.
It was ridiculous.
I would have been the shoes did not match her top. Actually, no, I did not even catch that this time around. So. But
let's get back to topic. Is there anything that you are excited for, story-wise, going into Stomping Ground?
Well, I'm curious to see who Baron Corbin's going to pick as his ref. That seems to be an angle now. Corbin's allowed to pick a referee. That doesn't seem fair at all. I don't know what decision was made there, but fair enough. That could be interesting to see if it's going to be Brock Lesnar. If he is the referee, is he going to count to 3? Is he going to let Corbin win to beat up Corbin? I don't know. I have a feeling now the whole Brock Lesnar cash-in is going to go the year. Yeah. I think it's going to go a very long time. So get used to it. So that match probably won't have a really good payoff in the end. Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. I mean, I guess this is the continuation of their feud. Do you see Lacey sandbagging Bayley after Raw?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the gifs of it. I don't really. I just think she just botched it. I mean, to say that she just didn't want to take the move, I don't know.
But as soon as she pulled her up, you think it would be oh, they're pulling me, I better jump. But it just seemed like she had to lift her up completely dead weight.
She might have. Her timing might have been fucked up. I mean,
maybe we've seen her do a little bit of sloppy jalopy in the ring. Maybe that's the
she's not the smoothest. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for me to say that it was a sandbag. But
look, we got Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre on the card. Could be a good match, but I just see inevitably Roman Reigns picking off Drew. I hope Drew picks up the win, but it could be like Rucker said. They're going to have Roman Reigns kick out of the Claymore once and for all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited.
Bayley, Alexa Bliss. Who knows, man? Maybe Alexa Bliss, they're gonna pull the trigger on that and give her the title back. Imagine that. That'd be the one thing that would be interesting to see if Bayley goes into it, Alexa Bliss wins, and she's a champion again. Imagine that. I think the internet would have a field day with that one.
I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, the women's division has obviously cooled down since WrestleMania. There's no real concrete storylines going into it. It just kind of seems like a mess between Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Becky, and Charlotte, just kind of all fighting over everything. Honestly, I think the wild card rule has really messed everybody up.
It has. It's terrible, and it really restricts, I guess the opportunities.
I don't know, man. It's a clusterfuck, dude. Honestly, like, I'm dying over here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, I've been a little bit removed. I was in Florida. I missed a lot of stuff. I came back, and it just seemed like, the same 10 or 15 people are on every SmackDown and every Raw, and it's just the same thing over and over and over, and nothing's evolving, and there's no storylines. Like, why do these guys not even like each other? I don't even know why they don't like each other. Just because one's a bad guy and one's a good guy, so they don't like each other?
It's really weak, I guess, storyline basis. I don't know. Okay, we go back to your original question. Stomping Ground, anything to look forward to at this point in time? No, not really. I mean, I'll watch it because I will, and it'll be an okay watch. And the most exciting part of it might be our live show, guys. Make sure to tune in on Full Press.
It definitely will be the best part.
But to me, it's kind of like a fast lane, right? Stomping Grounds, fast lane, like these kind of just filler. I don't know. I don't really see much happening.
When is SummerSlam? I'm going to look it up right now.
In August. I think like the first weekend of August.
So we have like one more pay-per-view after Stomping Grounds before SummerSlam. And SummerSlam is the, quote-unquote, WrestleMania of the summer.
Well, yeah, it's one of their big events. And I'll be hitting up Toronto going to NXT TakeOver. Not sure if I'm doing SummerSlam just yet. If I get my hands on some tickets, I have a few possibilities, but either way, I'll be in the city, so it's going to be exciting, and I'll bring you guys along for the ride.
When WWE was at its best, there was a clear mid-card, top card, and undercard. And the undercard kind of played the role of introducing wrestlers, seeing if they could organically get over, or, they weren't necessarily pushed. If the fans responded to them well, they kind of took a step up. Like, let's take a look at Brian Christopher and Scotty 2 Hotty. They were easily in the undercard for a really long time. All of a sudden, they got slammed into a tag team. They got elevated to mid-card. And then, Rikishi comes in the mix, who was a mid-carder, and he almost went to the top of the card, being too cool. He had big moments, Hell in a Cell moments, all that kind of crap. Do you think the WWE is on track to ever being able to get back to a point where they can have, those three tiers? And now they kind of use NXT as their, undercard, but then they get to the main roster and they're just murdered, right? So that's done. So to me, it just seems like there's way too many people in the top, and there's literally nobody in the middle, and then the undercard in NXT is really good, and then when they bring it up to main roster, it's dead. I feel like that whole schematic is just fucking everything up, man.
Well, it's like two companies that don't communicate or just don't have the same, I guess, flow to them. I don't know, Triple H should be kind of, he should be a lot more involved with the main product. I think McMahon should sit back and see the success for NXT and be like, wow, obviously there's something magic there. We can give Triple H more free reign instead of them having all these writers writing and McMahon kind of just changing the script last minute, doing what he wants, and being set in his ways, because it's just not working. And right now, like, the bottom tier is all like the 24/7 people running around now. It's like, hey, we need something for these guys to do. They're not being featured on TV. Let's just make the 24/7 title and have R-Truth running around. When R-Truth's not the champion anymore, is this really going to work with somebody else?
It won't.
Because
it will not work with somebody else.
I thought it was really stupid this week when, like, he got stuck in that box at the end of SmackDown, and they're loading him up, and Ginger's like, "Where are you taking this box? Like, where are you taking him?" And he's like, "We're going to California for Raw," and he's like, "Okay," and then he like runs to his car or wherever he's got to go to California, when he could just like pry open that box and take him out and pin him. Like, I don't know, it was just stupid.
And San Jose and LA aren't that far. It's not going to take him a week to get there.
He's gonna die in that box.
He's going to die in that box.
It'd be funny if he tweeted from the box like for the next week.
Oh my god! Actually, that would probably go over really well. Honestly,
that'd be pretty funny.
It's a shame that belt is the most, in my opinion, I'm not going to say prestigious belt, but it's the most belt I have interest in right now with WWE.
I think it'll grow on us too. I mean, like, it is an ugly design, but it's a different design, and it could be nicer. But I think you'll see next year at WrestleMania, people will be walking around with that shit. And imagine if people will be running around like pinning each other.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't put it past the nerds. J Bomb's going to be there next year doing it. Well.
I see a lot of people, defending WWE and saying that AEW can make moves, the same moves that the same thing can be done in AEW that's done in WWE, and everyone's going to shit all over it in the WWE, but love it in AEW. An example that I saw today was that the Super Smash Brothers got their name changed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, this is a big fucking difference, and it makes sense with what you're talking about, how NXT and WWE don't communicate. They're the same company. Okay, so the same fans are watching them. AEW signs these dudes that they've never been in AEW before. So for them to get a new name, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But if you're in NXT and you come up, you're in the WWE already. You're in developmental. So if you come up and your name is changed, what the fuck was all that building for?
It's a good question, man. You gotta tell. Once you get the answer, let the WWE know.
No, but it's just I get that people are saying like if you do it in AEW it's gold, and if you do it in WWE it's trash. But the thing is that there is something magical going on outside of the WWE. Okay, and you can't really always say it. Like, look, girls, let's use women as a thing, right? You could want to hook up with one girl, but not the other girl. They're both girls. Okay, one you like more because there's just something going on. There's sparks flying. And I think that's what's going on right now. And for guys like me and you who have been WWE fans for our whole entire life, I think it's fucking crazy, dude. When you text me, like I woke up this morning to 5 texts from you after SmackDown, and I was like, holy shit, Dez literally is disinterested in the WWE. And I've never seen that.
I was drunk.
I've never seen.
But yeah,
I
was ranting. Yeah, man, I was building the shed, and I brought my tablet out, and I actually put like my TV on my tablet, and I had it beside, and I'm like kind of watching as I'm going, and like it already goes to show you, I'm doing other things while I'm watching it. I'm already starting to detach, right? And just the stuff that's going on is just rolling my eyes. Like Shane McMahon, it was just on. The segment lasted forever. He does an in-ring promo. Then he makes the Miz wrestle Elias, then Drew McIntyre, then him. And it's just like this long-ass segment all around Shane McMahon. And you have Drew McIntyre, right? He broke up with Ziggler because he's like, I'm not going to be second fiddle. I'm not going to be a bitch. I used you. And now he goes to Shane McMahon and he's Shane's bitch. The fact that Drew McIntyre is saying on the mic that Shane is the best in the world, oh, boo on you. Boo on you, Drew McIntyre. You're better than that.
He is. He really is. And I think it's just, I'm at a loss of words, man. I feel like this whole podcast has been kind of a rant. I think it's been a long time coming. We're we put a lot of effort into being a fan of this company, and I feel like they're just shitting on us. That's just what it is.
I just find the lack of direction. Like I said earlier, Kevin Owens, like, right? He's there wrestling every week, but like he's literally in nothing. He's not in any storyline. Sami Zayn, I don't know where this is going. We really don't know. Drew McIntyre had some kind of direction before, and I was really on the Drew McIntyre train. Yeah. And as much as I am now, he's a fucking lackey bitch, and I don't like that. I like when he was just like, the Scottish psychopath, whatever you want to call him. He was just like, he was a beast, man. He hadn't been beaten in so long, and I think he's still pretty dangerous, but he's got to be careful, man. He doesn't want to get stuck in that role, because that's what he's going to be all the time.
He's losing his edge. You know what I mean?
He's losing his edge, yes, absolutely.
His image is tarnished, and I don't know if there's a recovery from it. I don't want a guy like Drew McIntyre who, when he came in, you were excited, I was excited. You made me go back and watch shit of him. I don't want him to need a repackage once this whole crap with Shane is over with. Because his package was great. It would have worked. Let's try and be positive. I'm going to ask you one more question before we wrap things up, unless you have other stuff you want to comment on before we do.
Let's do it, my friend.
I want to know, can you name 5 positive things currently going on in the WWE?
Oh, man. I should have prepared better for this one.
No, you shouldn't have. It should just come right away.
Well, that's it. You should let me know earlier so I could have cheated. I'm going to have to say I've been enjoying the 24/7 title.
Okay, we could agree on the 24/7.
Do I like every segment? Do I think it's stupid and cheesy? Yeah, I do. I like the fact that they can get some other stars highlighted. I want to see what they do every week with the creativity surrounding it. It's been all right. It's like saying I like the shittier shit, the less shitty shit. I guess you could put it that way. Yeah, so that hasn't been too bad. Along with Firefly Funhouse.
Okay, Firefly. Okay, I'll agree with that one.
I don't think it was as good this week. I think the Muscle Man dance was pretty hard to follow, but it has been all right, I guess, as well too. That's something to look forward to. But also them replaying it, on Raw and on SmackDown. Again, these are things that they're repeating. They're focusing on certain people, and it's just eating up more time. So sometimes a little bit too much of it. I just want to get it on Raw.
Yeah.
I don't need to necessarily have it on SmackDown. And you know what? Here's one that's kind of interesting, just because I want to see how it develops. I like Daniel Bryan. I find him interesting. I like when he's a tag team champion, and I think they were saying they're the Universe's champion, something like they were the Universe's champion,
Planet's
and they refused to fight the Heavy Machinery because they are aliens. And I'm just like, what does he even mean by this? And he's legit trying to convince you that they're like aliens, and it's just ridiculous. But Daniel Bryan does it in a way that it's just kind of entertaining.
It's good. Yeah, Daniel's good.
Yeah, it's good shit. It's good shit.
Good shit.
But, I think my ultimate one, and this is kind of funny, had to be NXT.
No, and that's fair. They're part of WWE. So, of course, NXT is a huge positive thing we could take away from it.
But isn't it funny that, my favorite, when you ask the question, what's your favorite things right now about the WWE? My favorite thing is NXT, which is not even the main product.
Yeah, I mean, we literally called it the undercard, developmental. And it's the best part of, the whole WWE package, the network, pretty much.
But I'm always excited when NXT TakeOver comes around. Now we're doing a lot more about our predictions on this as well too. And I was live tweeting, and we talk about it on our podcast the following week when we recap. I just something about when NXT is coming around. I feel special. I feel excitement, kind of like a mini WrestleMania.
Every takeover is like a mini WrestleMania. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
that's it. Yeah.
Can you name a fifth?
Cesaro and Ricochet.
Okay. Cesaro.
I've been loving their matches. I don't get tired of it. And, now they're kind of doing multi-man matches, and they're still kind of being able to show that chemistry in different ways. I don't know where they're heading from here. They made a little bit of a tease that Ricochet might be going for the U.S. title.
Yeah, U.S. title, yeah.
Yeah, U.S. title. So maybe they'll be involved in one way or the other, but I like it, I guess. I like that. That's the wrestling. That's the wrestling in the show that I like.
There's still a lot about WWE that I like. I love the network. I pretty much love all the 24s, the 365s,
right
along and all
good.
that. I still love the culture of WWE. I always enjoy seeing all the posts that they make on all the Make-A-Wish stuff and all the charity stuff that they do. That's all huge. But as far as it goes for the actual product, I think you nailed it. That's pretty much the only 5 good things going on with, the television program Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views.
Dude, Chad Gable cut his hair. Do you see that?
Yeah, and he's on 205 Live.
Yeah, he's on 205 Live. I saw him with the short hair on SmackDown. I was like, what did he do? I kind of liked the package that he had, and now I saw him on 205 Live. He actually looks pretty good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see.
Excuse me, my wife was sitting beside me, and she's like, "Do you think that they put the name tag on because he looks so different?" They're like, "Do you think they put the name tag on him because they just panned to him quickly? He was running something on the list." And I was like, "Is he gonna try and do a list of Jericho or something here?"
Oh my god, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know if he'll be like 205 Live and main roster, but I'm glad he's getting a chance. I think he fit in good on 205 Live. I don't know. I got a good roster down there, and I hope that we're gonna be able to see some of the shit that he could do in the ring that we haven't been able to see on the main roster.
Dez, we did it. We turned absolutely nothing into pretty much a 1-hour show, which was our goal. I hope we weren't too negative. I just think that unless you're blind to the fact, it's honestly, it's as bad as it's ever been. I thought it was bad, Survivor Series last year. I think if you go back into our archives and listen to me talking in those podcasts, I was really frustrated. This is, I'm a bit out of it, and I can't get drawn back into it right now, and I'm scared, man.
I mean, that's kind of it. I'm going through some of my notes too, and some of the points that we didn't necessarily hit on. One I did want to hit on before we move on, or before we close out for the day, the Iconics and the tag team division. I think this is really what set me off last night. Because I was watching, I had my dinner, sitting there, wanted to enjoy some wrestling. And look, I'm not going to knock the Iconics. They're okay. No, they're not.
They're a good comedy act, actually. I feel like
they're a good comedy act.
Yeah.
And And I feel like if they out there and they were able to like put on solid wrestling matches, I wouldn't care. I would be like, I don't mind these girls. These girls they know their way around the ring and they're solid. But you have them up against these local jobbers and you want them to make them look strong. But we've been doing that for several months now. And the whole point for these tag team titles were to, give the women an opportunity, give them a platform, and create a women's tag team division. I just feel like you could have had them in a tag team match against two other women who didn't have anything going right now. Like, where is this going? There's no. They're the face of your tag team division, and that is a fucking joke.
There is no tag team division, Des. Come on, we all know that.
It's a fucking joke. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to knock the Iconics either, because like I don't really dislike them. I just think the fact that they made these titles, they're going to be groundbreaking, really important. They had a chance with Bayley and Sasha to do something good. It didn't work out, and now they're putting it on these two, and it's kind of more. It's a farce. It's like it's really disrespectful, I find, and they really could be doing this. They could be doing so many things right that they're not. It's really hard to watch.
Who books this shit, right? Who books this shit?
Hey, Big E's back at least.
Yeah, Big E is back. I mean, okay, let's talk about that real quick before we wrap it up. That pop that he got on the hot tag was huge. I'll give him that. But again, they spoiled his return.
Fast.
There's no story to it.
Yeah. Well, they tell everything now because they want the ratings. Oh, Big E's coming back? I'm going to tune in. Hey, one thing I did like, though, this week, those YOLO County Tag Team Championship titles.
Yeah, I felt like making one.
Dude, Heavy Machinery's actually carrying them around now. So, that would be fucking hilarious.
Heavy Machinery is still good. I thought their promo coming out.
Yeah, well, they're funny. Too. They're comedic. So, hopefully you're going to push this Daniel Bryan story with them a little bit more. That's why I'm curious to see what he's going to say and what he's going to do. I love Daniel Bryan, man.
Daniel Bryan is good. There are a few positives, but I think it's safe to say that, we're all frustrated out there, guys. Let's hope that Stomping Grounds could be in the past, Super Showdown could be in the past, and we could start getting some builds heading into SummerSlam. And we got Fyter Fest coming up, NXT Takeover. Toronto's going to be a great show. Des is going to be there. I think there's some positives going forward, but right now,
Oh, if I get to see EO beat Baszler for the title at Takeover, I will be a happy man. It's going to be exciting, almost as exciting as it's going to be for J-Bomb. Right after we finish recording, we're going to go check out Game 7, the Stanley Cup Final. Boston Bruins against the St. Louis Blues guys. It's going to be hot. And look, we got Toronto Raptors taking on the Golden State Warriors as well, too, man. And they almost closed it last night. It came really close, and they just missed that final buzzer beater. Oh, come on, get behind your country.
Dude, the worst thing for me is if the Raptors win. I hate it.
Have you actually sat down and watched basketball, though?
I've watched basketball. I think it's an exciting game. I hate Toronto sports, so sorry.
Well, now you know how hard it's been for me during this Stanley Cup Final and Boston Bruins ride to the Cup. But you know what? Best of luck to you, my friend.
All right, brother. On behalf of Talkamania, J-Bomb's out. Des, say bye.
Happy Rusev Day. Go Raptors! And Blues.